Oh my God!
It is time.
Nothing happened. Rehashed, revamped, rehearsed. The same old less than mediocre reviews that you're fucking loving. We're back, motherfucker. Holla at you boys.
Welcome back to We Watched the Movie, guys. We've been gone for a long time. Some things happened. Jay's not to blame. I'm more to blame. I had some life happen.
Did you say my nuts are to blame?
I just contracted a few STDs and I had to take care of it. That's not true. But we're back nonetheless. Needed a little break. Had some shit to take care of, but we're back full throttle. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit. Maybe just the tip. I don't know. But we are back, and our first movie back. We have missed you fuckers, by the way. We have missed you deeply and softly and into the night. I want to softly caress you. I want to tell you how I feel about you and make you spaghetti dinner. Baked spaghetti dinner. What do you call that?
Gay.
You call it. There's another word for baked spaghetti. It's not just spaghetti that's baked. It's like spaghetti. It's
Spaghetti?
no, it's not spaghetti. That's
No,
stupid. Why would you even think about that?
Guys, that exists.
Anyways, we're gonna review The Lone Wolf of Lone Survivor.
The Lone Survivor.
The Lone Survivor.
Basically, the title
Lone
tells it
Survivor.
all. It fucking gives you the end.
It does, and I didn't
One.
like that when I saw it. I was like, Mark Wahlberg has a dirty beard, and they told us the ending, and it's a true story, so people know what happened.
I don't get what's wrong. Why can't he grow like a straight? It's like scraggly as shit.
He can do a lot of things, but everybody has their limits.
He's a goat.
Why can't I grow a beard, man?
Cause it's a goat.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie.
Directed by Peter Berg after that shit it sucked. The last movie he did, but he's also the director of Friday Night Lights. He's done some awesome shit. He's Peter Berg, and he's even got that weird looking face, and he's a good role actor in movies. But it also stars Mark Wahlberg, Emile Hirsch, surprisingly. I didn't expect that.
Ben Foster
Taylor Kitsch. There's a lot of good people in this movie. Even Eric Bana.
has a small little role in it. It's
I
good as
thought you
fuck.
were going to say Wiener for some reason.
I don't know for sure. It recounts the true story of 4 Navy SEALs that are sent in to assassinate this Abdullah motherfucker. I don't remember his name. I don't.
That's racist, but it's okay.
It's not really racist.
The court will allow it.
Thank you. But in Afghanistan, they're sent in to assassinate this guy. Shit gets foobar, and they have to get out of there quick. And some bad shit happens, and it's a fucking amazing movie.
It is an amazing
and they do justice to these guys' sacrifices, the ones that really died in real life. They do justice to it because this movie is fucking visceral. It's fucking graphic. It's realistic. It's everything that when you see a war drama kind of movie, it's what you want in all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's weird because it's a typical military movie, but it's not a typical military movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's shot so well, it's completely entertaining the whole time, it's completely entertaining the whole time.
You're not racist. You sound like fucking Fu Manchu.
Some steps. But no, they go through. I mean, from the beginning of the movie, this shows this documentary. What the fuck, dude? I can't do this anymore.
It's okay, bro.
I've lost it.
It's okay, bro.
Yeah, no, but they show this documentary style, real footage of Navy SEALs doing the shit that they do, the awesome, crazy shit that we're not manly enough to do. And yeah, and there's this whole turn on it. You think, are they going to be ultra? There's this new word I learned this week. Jingoistic. Do you know what that means?
No.
Yeah, you need to get learned.
Jingoistic
is when you're extreme about your nation, you're so extreme about it, and it's almost like pushing propaganda or whatever. I'm so 100% American. But and they've been throwing that word around for this movie. But the thing about it is that it fucking works.
You know that term is actually a coin on an old term called nationalism, and Nazis had that. But
diversity is the lack of an old wooden ship.
Speaking of new terms that I learned, and I'll bet you don't know what this means. Baller. I learned it on SportsCenter.
That's pretty good.
He's a baller.
That's pretty good.
But you're right. They do show that realistic kind of shit, and then they transition so well into the movie part. It blurs it so well. You can't tell. You can tell when it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
But it's still it's done so well. It's effective. It's oh my god, it's happened. And it looks so good on camera.
It's extremely in Americans' favor. It's a patriotic fucking movie because you're watching these guys do this and you're thinking I was pumped up for this whole movie. Every time something was happening, I was like, fuck yeah. I mean, because it makes you proud. It makes you fucking angry at what happens to them, and it makes you want to go and just fight.
It makes you in that second. It makes you in that that 5 minutes you're watching, you're like, I'm gonna go join the goddamn Marines.
It makes you want to.
And then you're like, but I could never fucking do it. But yeah, but it really does. It empowers you, I guess, as an American. That's not saying anything, against the other countries, but it is an American movie. I mean, it's about American Navy SEALs. So at that point, it is. It's like it's a GI Joe for real.
You got these assholes saying like, oh, like the critics that are always talking shit. They're like, oh, it's too one sided. You're like, motherfucker, where do you live? Do you not live in America? America.
This is America.
Baked beans. I mean,
Hot dogs.
why would you not want it to be that way? And it's a clearly like good and evil battle in this. I don't know that many people here would argue that we're not on the right side of it, but they even added that point when, because I mean, you see in the trailers, not giving anything away. There's the point when they're in the woods, they're getting ready to do the op, and the kid and the guy comes up and they ruin it. And they're like, we could let him go, and we might end up dying. Or we could kill him. And they actually they have that conversation, but it's not like what I love about this movie, they don't make bad guys out of our guys. It's just like even though one guy's saying, hey, we should kill him and let him go, and or we should kill him and move on with the op to save our own asses. I don't agree with that. I would have let him go too if I was in that position, I believe.
They had
to believe.
They had 3 options.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying.
But the way that they presented their arguments, even the ones that said, oh, we should kill him, it didn't make them assholes. It didn't make them completely dirtbags.
Well,
they had their reasons.
I think at one poignant scene in that particular conversation they were having is when I think it was Ben Foster, his character was saying that whatever the world, whatever fucking CNN thinks, we're here. Whatever the world thinks, it doesn't fucking matter.
None of their business what happened.
Yeah, we're in this situation.
We're in the shit.
That's right. We're in Foobar Lane. We're in Foobar Lane. Lane.
8 seconds. Lane Frost.
What does that mean? Are you an eagle?
Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
You need to get on
8
it.
seconds?
8 seconds.
Oh yeah, I have
It's a
seen
great
that.
fucking movie.
I know.
Barry.
But
Can't beat him.
But actually, it's not one-sided, really. I mean, the critics that are saying it's one-sided. As a matter of fact, one of the Iraqi natives helped Mark Wahlberg later on in the film.
Yeah.
So and he's a hero, and his
I know
son
that's a
is
spoiler. That's okay.
No, it's not. I mean, we don't know what point that happens and when it happens, but
why it happens.
Oh yeah. So I mean, who, what, when, where,
Where
why?
it happens.
But so it's not one-sided. It's not showing them. I guess they're terrorists. I mean, they're fucking Al Qaeda or Taliban. I mean, they're terrorists and they're bad guys, and that's what it is. I mean, so I mean, it's
Did
not.
you want us to sympathize with them?
I never.
No.
I'd grab their fucking beards and make them shave it.
But where this movie survives where other movies have failed in trying to present that like Americanism or whatever, like that American pride, it's not hokey. It's not hokey to me. Like it's extreme at some points. Like, and there's even some cliche stuff that they say in this movie that they would say in other military movies. Some stuff you expected them to say, like if I die, tell my wife this or that. But it's so powerful the way they do it. It's written so well and it's shot so well and it's acted so well that it plays out perfectly and it just adds a whole new spin to it. I'm just gonna say right now, this is my favorite military movie I've ever seen. I've never been like as emotionally touched, not physically. It's not like that, Jay. I don't want to sleep with a Navy SEAL, a man Navy SEAL, or a SEAL.
I'd sleep with.
But I do love this movie, and I've felt for all the characters. I loved all the characters. My favorite. What was your favorite of the?
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster.
I thought he was a fucking complete badass. He's gone so far from what he. Every time I think of Ben Foster, he's like Punisher. He's like no one ever stood up for me. He has a lot of metal in his face, but he is. He truly is like a fucking straight up badass. What you would think of as a Navy SEAL, like a sniper.
He's done a lot since then. It's time to let that go.
I can't help it. It stuck with me.
But yeah, no, my favorite was Taylor Kitsch. I thought he knocked this one out.
And that's crazy to say.
For a guy who's been through a lot of shit, he was awesome in Friday Night Lights, but he's, John Carter's had some bombs and shit like that, but I never really doubted his acting abilities. I hated him as Gambit, but he was awesome in this movie. His character was awesome. The acting was awesome. I love Taylor Kitsch. He was my favorite character in the movie.
Taylor Kitsch is one of those guys that he's got the unlucky streak with him. I mean, he's been in like big, huge budget movies, but they just never panned out. This is the one movie that I'm like, okay, he nailed this one.
Yeah,
like he was in the right movie with the right cast at the right time.
And Emile Hirsch was believable as a badass Navy SEAL. I mean, he pulled that off, which you don't think that when you think of Emile Hirsch either. But Mark Wahlberg. Let's talk about
Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, and the Funky Bunch. They weren't there sadly, but Mark Wahlberg was good.
Technically, they would have been his Funky Bunch.
I thought there was more than 4.
I don't know. I didn't.
You don't have Sweet Vibrations? Is it Sweet Vibrations?
I don't know.
But anyway, yeah, Mark Wahlberg did a pretty good job. He wasn't horrible. I like Mark Wahlberg, but we talked about this when we were watching it. He does this rant when he gets at one point in the movie. He does this rant when he gets to this village and he's screaming at people. He goes, he has this grenade and he doesn't know if these guys are the good guys or the bad guys that are trying to rescue him. He's like, I have this. I have this. And it's just like, I don't know if it's overacting or if it's because the way he talks is funny.
You see a piece of it in the trailer, and it's like, when even watching the trailer, it's like, that's a weird role for him, and then you're watching it, and you see the Mark Wahlberg, like the true Mark Wahlberg come out for a second, because he's like, if I don't go home, you don't go home. If I don't go home, you don't go home. And you're like, that's fucking Mark Wahlberg. But even though that's there, Mark Wahlberg, it's never bad acting, it's just like, that's Mark Wahlberg.
I know, it's just...
What I like, though, is that they downplayed him through the movie. Like, since he was the main star, he's on the cover and everything, and you know, he's the main dude technically. They didn't like sensationalize him very much. They didn't stand him for most of the movie. They let Kitsch and Emile Hirsch and all those other guys stand out, and he kind of faded into the backdrop.
Well,
for most of the movie, and then at the end, what I also liked is, and I'm trying not to give any spoilers away here, but when stuff was going really bad for the other guys, they didn't make it out like Mark Wahlberg saved the day and he was like the super badass and he was better than the other military guys. They gave them the utmost respect. You know, they didn't just like shadow them like Mark Wahlberg saved the day. They didn't play it that way, and I love that.
Well, they did a great job showing that. They showcased, because I think they wanted, I mean, obviously it's just based on true accounts. Yeah. So, you know, Emile Hirsch, that was playing that character that died in real life, and Taylor Kitsch, those guys were heroes. I mean, they were fucking heroes. And Mark Wahlberg, obviously the guy that played, you know, he was playing this real guy in real life. He was a hero too, but those guys were just as much of a hero as him. I mean, so you really couldn't have him go over the top and G.I. Joe it.
Yeah.
I guess maybe if you'd had a shittier director, like, oh, we got to throw more action in this. We got to have him jump up on the mountaintop with fucking AK-47s with both hands, like, fucking suck dicks. You know? But they didn't. Yeah. They straight away that. And it's hard to do because Mark Wahlberg, if I had him, if I was making a movie and you had Mark Wahlberg in front of you and you're making an action movie, it'd be hard to do. Like, Mark, just fucking let it roll.
Yeah, just beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah. But one thing I wanted to mention about this movie that I really liked, and I thought it was really cool about it, and it only lasted for, I guess, 30 minutes of the movie, and some would say, well, they should have expanded on that more. But they do it so well that it works. The camaraderie that they showcase at the beginning, and then that translates over into the rest of the movie, and you can see why these guys are close. They feel they're brothers, and at one scene, Ben Foster is saying, I mean, this is not giving it away. It's called Lone Survivor for a reason. There's one fucking guy that lives, but Ben Foster's saying, tell my wife that I loved her, and then say that I die with my brothers. Yeah. Like, and it all relates back to what happened earlier on when you see them. They show the clips of Hell Week and. Not them specifically going through that, but all that kind of training, and then them at the base camp, and them laughing and joking and being, bros, have that bro moment, and then going on into the shit.
It doesn't feel forced like a Michael Bay movie or like Peter Berg's Battleship. It doesn't feel like that. Like, it doesn't feel like they made these guys out to be the greatest individuals that ever lived or anything, but they gave them respect for what they did. I mean, what they did is amazing, and that's what makes the movie so emotional. Like, I would say this, it sounds corny or anything, but it makes you proud as hell to be an American. It makes you proud of our boys. You know what I mean?
Do you like Hulk Hogan?
but it does, and I was super pumped up watching this whole movie. There's never a boring moment, and I absolutely love this movie. The only bad thing I'll say about it, and this kept it from a perfect score for me the more I thought about it, was the end. The whole movie didn't feel like a Hollywoodized version of a situation that happened until the very end in Mark Wahlberg's situation. That kind of felt like it changed into a different movie a little bit, didn't it? Like, when it was just him, and at the very end, it felt way more movie-ish than the movie before it did. And it kind of lost its feel for a second to me. But still, yeah, it's a fucking amazing movie. I give it a 9.5, really close to a 10 for me. One of my favorite movies of the year, probably my favorite military movie of all time.
I'm gonna give this movie a 10 for me. I really didn't have any problems with it whatsoever as far as the acting ability and what they did with the ending and all that, and what flowed in between the beginning and the end. And one of the things I didn't mention that also I'm gonna give it a 10 is because the graphic violence of it was good. But at first it wasn't over the top. You were like, oh, people getting shot, you kind of see. But there's a scene where fucking Mark Wahlberg's knee or his fucking shin bone is sticking out. And he's got to push that shit in. Yeah. It's like, oh my god! And
push it in.
I was screaming, I was like, ah! I was like, it's happening right now on camera and I can't look away from it. That shit was so fucking realistic. I know that somebody researched an anatomy book to see what it would be like pushing that shit in your fucking leg and then getting up and moving around. I don't know, man. Like, I just loved it. I mean, this is not my favorite military drama of all time. I mean, it's a 10 for me, but at least for 2013 it's my favorite military movie of 2013. I don't think there's been any more of them. But my favorite is Black Hawk Down. But this is fucking up there with it, too.
Yeah, that is amazing. And those scenes that you're talking about, when they're going through that shit, they're getting shot up and they're getting hurt, the graphics are fucking amazing.
Special makeup effects.
Yeah, they're awesome. And it pisses you off. You're watching them go through this and you're like, God damn it, how do you keep moving on?
Where's the Apaches?
Yeah. And it's not like when Rambo gets shot up 100 times and he's perfectly fine. Like, their injuries, they still carry out their injuries and their acting. Like, if they get shot in the leg, the rest of the movie, they're carrying that leg with them or whatever. It's not fake. It's sensationalized. Like, it's real and it makes you fucking mad. It makes you want to jump in there and help them.
Well, you know what? Another thing this movie taught me is like just because inspirational music kicks in, it's not, the day is not saved. Because it happened like 3 times. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, fuck yeah, we got it. We're okay, guys. Then all of a sudden the goddamn RPG knocked down. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like they straight up rip the Friday Night Lights music. If you watch the Friday Night Lights TV show directed by Peter Berg, that awesome music, the soundtrack's awesome. They straight up use that kind of like that feel of music to it. And it's awesome. So
I love it.
Yeah, we did a review. It's been a while. I feel
like I've just ejaculated. It's
weird. What's your favorite military movie based on a real life situation of all time?
Black Hawk Down's mine.
This is mine. Okay. My dog
Who
barks.
could it be now?
I'm Mike, he's Shay. We're glad to be back, and we'll see you guys next time, shortly, soon, on We Watched a Movie.
On Sunny Side Up.
In the night.
In the dark.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.